Reach for the sky, boy.
Wrestling is trash. Wrestling is trash.
Pow! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 182 of Wrestling is Trash, the nonsensical podcast where we discuss all things pro wrestling, past, present, and possibly the future, in an attempt to bring positivity into the IWC. I am one of your co-hosts of this podcast, Lou from the BX, host of the Everything Podcast, co-host of Wrestling is Trash, Trash Boy number 2. Here with you on a Sunday, a beautiful Sunday. Everything's wonderful. The lights are blinking. The birds are singing. Everything is lovely. Nick, you know why my attitude is on high right now. You can see it right here with the orange blue. The La Familia motherfucking Knicks are up 3-1. But this is not a basketball podcast. This is Wrestling is Trash. And we are here on a Sunday, reunited once again. No solo Lou this week. The boys are back in town. I'm doing good. Everything's wonderful with me. No complaints. Passing it over to my boy.
What up, everyone? Again, it's Sully back at it again. Glad to be back. Had to go away for work for a little bit. Luke stepped in, did the solo thing as always, crushed it. As always, but yeah, no real updates here. Life's good. Life's good. Since we've done our last episode, I know you know, but found out we're having my lovely lady and I are having a little trash girl. So that's fucking awesome.
Yes.
Very, very excited about that. It sinks in more and more every day. Basketball, Celtics are doing. They're up 2-1 against the goofy ass Miami Heat. Need to get 3-1 tomorrow, but no, I can't complain, man. Yeah, I know we have a lot. We're going to go over the pay-per-view and everything. And, you know, no matter where I am, I always find a way to end up watching the shit. So I'm good. I ain't got to complain.
Hell yeah, man. Everything's lovely, man. It's a beautiful thing. Adding a new member to the Trash family. It's going to be phenomenal. And, yeah, man, we're just here. We're here on a Sunday for you all. We apologize for the mixing of schedules and moving things around. But as you know, we do this for the love of the game. And sometimes it's just not in the cards for us to drop an episode. And then sometimes it's in the card for us to kind of move some stuff around. But you guys know the deal by now. You already know.
Yeah.
We always come through in the end. So speaking of coming through, you know who else came through today?
We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks.
Shit. I don't want to get flagged. Even though that's not licensed music, but I don't want to get flagged anyway. Anyway, moving on. Thank you guys for joining us so much on this episode, number 182 of Wrestling is Trash. We are glad to be back. We're going to let you know right now, we've missed a few things this week, and we understand that. So there's no way we're going to get to everything. So as usual, what we're going to do is we're going to spitball this episode. So I thought one of the first things we should talk about, Nick, before we get into everything else that's happened this week and maybe the week before, we should probably talk a little bit about Dynasty. I did an episode last week. I talked about Dynasty. I kind of gave my quick thoughts about everything that I liked or didn't like. Nicholas, how did you find AEW Dynasty to be?
As usual, I thought it was another hit by AEW. Great pay-per-view. I really, really enjoyed it. Seeing my man, I know I hopped on the bandwagon as well. I've always been a fan, but seeing Swerve win was fucking awesome. I thought that was a great match. Danielson and Ospreay, obviously, you guy could go off on that forever. Those dudes just have insanely good because they probably, I'm assuming, and this is where I'm sorry I'm not a history buff in this particular area, but I'm assuming that's not the first time they've ever wrestled. It might have been. I don't know if they ever did any way in the past. I could be wrong. But regardless, they probably haven't wrestled together that many times. And they had insane chemistry. I thought that was great. Seeing Jack Perry come back the way they did was really, really cool. The women's side, Willow winning the title was awesome. We are fans of her on this podcast. I hate to be that guy, but we know it's probably going to be a short-lived reign. But nonetheless, it's still an accolade to put into the books, right? Whether you're a champion for an hour or a year, you could still say you were the champion. So I love to see that from her. I really, really enjoyed it, man. I really, really enjoyed it. Obviously, you hear the slander of it was the best pay-per-view ever or it sucked, whatever. I enjoyed it, as usual. You know, it's kind of hard for me not to enjoy wrestling, you know. But, no, I really did really, really like it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, man. As usual, you know, AEW tends to come through with their pay-per-views, man. This was one of their best pay-per-views that they've done, in my opinion. You're here, so I kind of just wanted to real quick. Don't want to go through the whole card, but I just kind of want to touch on 3 particular matches. And you'll probably be surprised by one of the ones that I actually want to talk about here. But of course, these 2 motherfuckers, man.
Match of the year so far for me.
Look, man. Again, this podcast we've been talking about. Well, it's like we talk about Will Ospreay, like we talk about Perry Saturn.
It's true. That's very true. I would say he's probably the most. There's probably not a podcast out. Okay, there probably is, but if there's all these, I would say we're in the top 5, top 10 most we praise Will Ospreay on this show.
It's gotta be. I mean, it's like you listen to like Busted Open and this shit. You know, Bully Ray's over here talking about, oh, how many times can I pop in a match? Like I can't watch, bro. Look, if you, I'm trying to be respectful of like all wrestling fans because it's like there's people who like wrestling, and then there's people who like, I guess, sports entertainment. But I'm not taking a shot at WWE for that when I say that. Because there's literally people who watch wrestling, but they don't care about the wrestling. Like, are you aware of this?
Yeah, and it's like, because I'm the first to say it, and I don't say it out of ignorance. I love wrestling, obviously. Like, I can watch just 2 dudes, 2 chicks, whatever, just wrestle. But I am one to be like, well, I want a story. I like a story, but I'm not one of those. I'm not going to be ignorant to be like, oh, well, why is this happening? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, I don't care that much. Where some people get very, I'll use the word passionate about it when it doesn't need to be. But I don't know, and it's nuts, right? Because I could say this between the 2 major companies, ones we always talk about. At the end of the day, if you like one, you should be able to like the other. And the one knock I'll give it as a whole is. And it's because that's just like you've said, like it's just sports entertainment. Like I could see someone watching WWE and being like, well, they wrestle as much as I'd like. And that's a fair argument. No one can sit here and say especially Raw being 3 hours that, they could easily probably wrestle for more than half of that show, but they don't. So I could see that.
Look at SmackDown this week. I know it was the draft, but it was 22 minutes of wrestling and a 2-hour show about wrestling.
Yeah, and it's like, I get it. It's the draft, but it's like, I don't know. We're going to talk about the draft after, so I'll say that.
Of course.
But anyway, but that, to me, those 2, match of the year, man. So far, in my eyes, it is my match of the year. I know in about 2 months, actually, we'll be doing our mid-year awards. And I don't see something topping this in the next. I don't see anything topping it the rest of the year, nonetheless, the next 2 months.
Right. And again, it just kind of skidding back a little bit. It's just like, how can you watch that? I say that. See, this is where I'm starting to kind of like open my mind a little bit more to these kind of, because I'm trying to understand. Like, look here, this podcast, we're gonna somehow, some way, Nick, we're gonna cure the IWC toxicity. We're gonna figure out a way to do it, and I'm trying to mentally figure this shit out on my own. So like, because before I'd just be like, how the fuck could you watch that and not like that shit, bro? You're an idiot. You know what I mean? But again, there are people out there who like are watching wrestling and they don't know what a drop toe hold is. They don't know what a Russian leg sweep is.
Or
they
just
don't
know
don't know the difference between like a brain buster or a suplex. To them, it's just, oh, he hit him with that shit. And they just like the physicality of it, and they like the story and the characters. And it's like, I've been watching wrestling for like 30 something plus years. when I say I like wrestling, I mean I like we say it all the time on here, the sport of professional wrestling. Like I like the actual storytelling in the ring, the move sets, the how different people do different things, the high flyers, the technical wrestlers, the brawlers, like all that shit. I like it all. I like the stories too. I like the larger than life characters too. I like all that shit. But
Yeah.
there's just some people who don't like, they're not with all the technical shit, and that's okay. And I'm trying to reprogram myself to understand that that's okay.
Well, I think it's kind of like I see a lot of tweets. I've been seeing them a lot lately. That everyone's saying this match, and they're talking about the Cody and Roman match, right? Like, nah, ain't no way Will Ospreay and Danielson is match of the year. Cody and Roman is, right? And then vice versa. People saying vice versa. And it's like, I get both sides. Now, me,
Right.
it's clear as day, Ospreay and Danielson. But I could see why people would die for the Cody, because don't get me wrong, Cody and Roman had a good match before the end game bullshit. Like, it wasn't a bad match.
Right.
But if you count not the end game bullshit, I love how everyone's just referring it to that, but if you count the match itself, like, yes, Cody and Roman, they had a good match, but it was nothing like this. You know what I mean? And that's where I think you kind of get that things of like storytelling wise and all that. You could argue Roman and Cody is match of the year, right? Because Cody finished the story, blah, 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 blah. But when we talk professional wrestling, nothing touches that of Ospreay.
Yeah, and that's why I think, like, maybe what we should do, because I know we're coming up, it's scary to say that, but we're coming up on the mid-year already. Do you think we should start doing like best wrestling match? And like what would we call, like, because if you tell me what's your favorite wrestling match of the year, I'm gonna say fucking
same.
Danielson and Ospreay. That was my favorite wrestling match of the year. Now you tell me what was my favorite, like,
you could
I
say
don't know
storyline.
What the fuck would you even call the Roman Reigns the best culmination of a storyline match? Or like there's got to be some type of name that you can attach to it to separate those two things, because if you're just saying match of the year, well, what are we talking about? Are you talking about the match that had the best story? Are you talking about the best technical match? Like, it's that's a big, you know what I'm saying? It's a big difference.
Right.
So there's got to be a way where we can kind of like separate one of the two, because I can understand the people who say the best match for them was Cody Roman, especially if they stuck around hardcore. Like, if you're only watching WWE and you're glued to that story and like you're all about the bloodline shit and you want to see it happen, and you've been waiting for Cody to finish the story, and he finally did it, and he's got the belt, and now you're like, you got your happy ending. Yeah, I can completely understand that. I can totally understand you saying that was the best match of the year, because it delivered so many things for you. Like, it culminated, what's this been going on for fucking what, 2 fucking years with Cody?
Yeah.
With this shit, 2.5 years him trying to get this belt. So, and of course you get Danielson and Ospreay, which the build, they did a good build for it, in my opinion. I thought the build was perfectly fine. It wasn't 2 years though. You know what I mean? It wasn't a 2-year build where they finally had their match and they got the outcome. But that fucking match itself was like, I mean, and again, we say the same things every time we see an Ospreay match. It's like, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
And then he does it again.
The one thing I like Tony does compared to WWE, maybe that'll change in this new era that we hear about every week.
The new era.
The new era. So far, it's off to a good start. I ain't going to sit here.
Yeah.
But I like how a match like that, like if I was in WWE, that's not happening unless it's at like SummerSlam or WrestleMania. This is on a random pay-per-view in April. And that's what I like that Tony does. He's not saving that just for All In or All Out. Like, they're 2 big shows of the year. It's like I like how Tony does that, though.
Yeah, like, and it's cool because, again, I'm starting to give both sides a little bit more leeway on things. And, when you look at WWE, they have their weekly TV shows and they have their monthly pay-per-views, and then they got their big ones like their SummerSlams, Royal Rumbles, WrestleManias. And I'm starting to see where, like, I'm starting to understand the idea where every week they're going out there and they're having matches, but then when they have like their big shows, that's when they pull out all the stops for the wrestlers. Whereas you go watch Dynamite and you'll have Commander wrestling, I don't know, let's say Bryan Danielson and Commander, and these two motherfuckers are trying to have like a pay-per-view match on weekly TV. And that's one of the things I was worried about with Ospreay when he was wrestling every week. I was like, oh shit, like, don't get me wrong, I like seeing Ospreay wrestle every week, but I'm like, should he be wrestling every week?
I don't
with
think
his style, especially because that style that he does is like, not that he's gonna get hurt or anything, God forbid, but I just mean like he just goes so all out that that's something that you should only be seeing like on pay-per-view. Because you could eventually, I could see where you get tired of that shit. You not, and maybe get tired is the wrong phrase. Like, it starts to become predictable where you're kicking out of so much shit. You're pulling off the armband for the hidden blade. You hit the hidden blade. You know, they kick out. You do the other another hidden blade. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit kind of can kind of get formulaic. But then I see this match and I'm like, oh yeah, no, never mind. They definitely went to another level from these TV matches that he's been doing. So it's there's a lot there. And I can see where the WWE people and the critics of AEW are like, yo, you're doing too much on your weekly TV. You need to slow it down a bit. I can understand that. For sure. But moving on, that was another match of the year contender, and it's not 2 or 3. I'll tell you that. Another match I wanted to talk about on this show was this. Yeah. This match was fucking great. I thought this match was fantastic. Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa, I think, work very well together because they're both very physical, even though Toni's new gimmick is like very kind of cartoonish. But bro, she's physical as fuck. Like, I don't know if people forgot NXT UK Toni Storm, but she's physical as shit. And so is Thunder Rosa. So seeing the two of them in the ring together for me was fantastic.
I got a hot take question to ask you right off the rip.
Oh yeah.
This is a great match, by the way. Great match.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think how to word this. Is Toni Storm, who would you rather see on your TV right now, strictly wrestling-wise, character-wise? Toni Storm or Mercedes Moné? Toni
Storm. I'm a little irritated with Mercedes. I'm a little irritated with Mercedes right now, and it's like it kind of sucks because it's not her fault, because apparently she's not cleared yet. Apparently she's gonna be cleared by the time Double or Nothing rolls around. But supposedly she's not technically cleared. But here's my thing with her. You said earlier, and I'm glad you actually brought that up, because you said earlier we're pretty sure Willow's gonna have a short reign. I don't think so. I hope they're going to turn Mercedes heel, because she needs to be a fucking heel.
She's better as a heel.
This whole thing where someone's in the ring celebrating and she comes out and it's just fucking... She's just fucking coming out and dancing for like a minute and a half. I'm like, bitch, like, I don't want to see you dancing. Like, this is dumb. Like, it's starting to get really stupid, bro. Like, the CEO of music hits and she comes to the top of the stage. She's doing this shit. And then she sashays all the way down to the ring and goes to the arm thing of the ring. And she's just fucking dancing. That's heel shit, bro. That's not face shit. Like, she's acting like a heel. And she's not, I feel like she's a natural heel. So I think they're actually, I'm thinking that, well, when Double or Nothing comes, we'll do the whole pre-show about it. But I kind of feel like she's going to turn heel at Double or Nothing. She's not going to win the title. At least that's what I think they should do. Because you can see that the crowd is starting to get a little like, they're getting a little tired of her shit. Like, they really are. And then you got Willow, who's like a super baby face, bro. Like, everybody loves Willow Nightingale. And if you give her a mic, forget it. She's gonna demolish you, because she demolished Mercedes on the mic last week or whatever it was when they had that little back and forth. So like, everybody wants to be behind Willow. They like Willow, so it's natural for them to turn Mercedes.
the thing, last thing on that question, then I'll go back to the match because that's what this is about. It makes me think, why? Because remember, we were hearing all these rumors in January that, oh, she could have signed with WWE and would be at the Rumble. But it's like, if this is the case and she's still hurt, so WWE would have signed her and she wouldn't have been used at WrestleMania or nothing. But I'm not saying she's not hurt still. Definitely not saying that. It's just, it's weird. But why did Tony rush? I hate saying this because I'm going to sound like a douche, and I don't mean it that way. But why rush and make this big show about Mercedes to do it in front of like 8,000 people when you probably could have debuted her out of nowhere as a big-ass surprise on Double or Nothing, where 100,000 plus people are buying your pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
so
not gonna kill.
I guess that's the thing, because I think it's to the point where it's like, all right, we just want to see this motherfucker wrestle because this is why we love Mercedes. We love her ring work. But yeah, I don't know. That was just my take on that. I had to ask. It's been a hot question on the internet, to be honest.
No, I mean it's valid. I'm not gonna kill Tony for bringing her in and then having that Boston show lined up and getting her out there in front of those people. Like, I'm not gonna kill him for that.
No, definitely not.
I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. But I do think it probably would have made a much bigger splash to bring her out on a pay-per-view like Double or Nothing instead of that show. Because I was happy with her appearance on that show. She came out, she hit a finisher. I thought she was going to be wrestling. That's why I was like, it was cool. Yeah, but like every week now, she's just coming out and dancing, and it's like, okay, well, this is like, it's getting us nowhere. And then on top of that, we have a ranking system that doesn't seem to matter because she has 0 wins and 0 losses, and she's getting a championship shot. So my thing is like, that's why I say turn her heel. That way it makes a little more sense why Willow's wrestling her, because she's be like, oh no, I hate this bitch. I don't give a damn if she don't have wins. I'm gonna whip her fucking ass. I want to fight her. Then that makes more sense. Yeah. You know what I mean? But she's just like, oh, I'm Mercedes, I'm here, and I'm #1 contender. How?
If there's a few things you are certain in life, death, taxes, AEW not following a ranking system like they advertise, and WWE not following draft rosters.
Yeah.
And back to this, dude. Tony, I don't think Tony should drop this belt anytime soon. Dude, she is killing it. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong, if Thunder Rosa would have won, would I have popped? Absolutely. But I'm loving Tony so far, man. This character. Now, do you see this character? Because I'm assuming. Do you think this is eventually going to lead to her and Mariah May? And Mariah is the one that takes the title from her? Because
I would think so.
So now, say whenever Tony loses the belt, do you still do this character?
I mean, there's different things you can do with her. She could do like some kind of thing where she lost her mind, because she kind of has been doing it now. Like that whole thing with the face paint and the lipstick all crazy, and those promos that she cut after she got attacked by Thunder Rosa. She kind of did a thing where she was like losing her mind. So I could see one of those where she kind of goes down like a downward spiral after losing her belt. And, I can see where they can open up another chapter with her on that.
Good, because I'm really liking this character. But yeah, great match, man. Thunder Rosa, you know what I mean?
I'm so glad she's back. I'm very glad.
Very rarely she can have a bad night in the office.
Yeah, I'm so glad she's back.
Yeah. What's the third?
So
match?
There were plenty other matches on this show, but there is one match that I did want to talk about, and it's this one right here. I did want to talk about this. Right. Now, that was my initial feelings when this got put on the pay-per-view. I was like, man, what the fuck, bro? It's fucking Jericho. Really? Like, who wants to see this? No one wants to see this. I don't care. Why is Jericho on my TV? But I'm going to tell you something. The match itself was very entertaining. Like, I was pretty entertained by this match. Hook and Jericho were beating the shit out of each other, and they were working really hard. And I got to tell you, bro, I've been the #1 Jericho hater. I've been saying, get him off my TV. He needs to take a break. How can I miss you if you won't go away? I've been saying all this shit. But when he came out on Wednesday and his music hit, and that shit said, "I am the learning tree," and he came out to that shitty music, and now he's the learning tree, and he's smiling and he's doing all this shit. I was like, okay, like Jericho somehow manages to win me over eventually, because I could get behind this learning tree shit. Like I can completely get behind this if he's gonna play it like the way he's playing it, where he's pretending, pretty much like pretending to be genuine about it, but he's super disingenuous, and you know he's super disingenuous about the gimmick. Like I can totally get behind this. And then the way he said the FTW title is the for, what is it, the for something for the world,
For the
for the world title. It's like, okay, like I can, they made me laugh, it popped me, like I can get behind this shit with Jericho. And it's like, you know what, man, we're gonna miss Jericho when he's like gone. Like you can talk all the shit you want about him, and you can say all these things, and you're tired of him and this and that, and I understand that. But dude, I'm gonna try to, again, trying to take the positivity dust off your shoulder that you like to spread around. I'm gonna try to be a little more positive about it. I'm gonna try not to be such a hater and just appreciate him while he's here and see where this story goes.
So the reason I boo is because I just love Hook. So I didn't want to see Hook lose. The match wasn't bad. And like I've been verbally known, like Jericho is one of my all-time favorites. So it's like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, you should probably take a break, all that, like what you're saying. But like, I'm not gonna sit there and like change the channel when he's on my TV.
Right.
I don't know, man. I think we're entering a point in our life where I think I'm starting to appreciate a lot more people than I probably should. Like, The Rock's my favorite of all time. I made that verbally known. It's like, I really appreciated this run he just did. But even like Jericho, but even like a dude like Ospreay, like I'm appreciating it now because you never know. Because now look like, and I'm going to mention something about him later, but look at Kenny Omega. Still young in his prime, but has his medical condition. Will he be the same when he comes back? Like, he might have to switch up his thing. And it's like, so I try to live in the moment now. I try. I'd like to think I do pretty decent. But yeah, no, I'm there with you. Because here's the thing. And you know what I hate? Unless you're a true hardcore hater. If you went to an AEW show right now and Jericho came out to Judas, you're singing that goddamn song.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Unless you're one of these guys who do this.
Now, I think our boy Rob would do that. Rob
they
does
love,
not like
they love that shit. Shout out to the father of this podcast.
Yeah.
But like you'll see some people singing and having fun, like singing Judas, and then there's that one guy like this.
Yeah.
Like I'm like mouth super close, like I refuse to sing, but he's singing under his breath. And you know he is. But again, the one thing I wanted to touch on was his match. Yeah, exactly. Hook losing the belt. So I'm actually okay with it. Because what the fuck was he doing with that belt anyway? He was doing nothing with that belt. Absolutely nothing.
Is it really considered like a belt though at the same time?
It has no standing in the company.
Yeah.
It has they don't keep track of how many times or any of that shit. At least I don't think they should. They shouldn't.
They're not having number one contender matches for the FTW.
No. There's no challengers. There's no any of that shit. It's just whoever wants to fight for it can fight for it. And sure, you hold the fake belt. But Jericho having the belt now will give it, he'll put the Jericho rub on it. Eventually it'll go back to Hook and he'll get his belt back. And hopefully he'll retire that shit when he wins it back. Because that belt needs to go away. Like it really does. Hook doesn't need that belt. It needs to just go.
You know when it's going to go away. It's going to go away when he leaves and goes to WWE. I'm a true believer when he's a free agent this year, he's jumping. And I don't say it like that way. If he stays, I love it. There's no, what the fuck? I'm not one of those ones. I just have a really good feeling he's going to go.
But what's his name going to be in WWE? Because it's not going to be Hook.
Uppercut.
Yeah. Elbow strike. No, they're gonna name him. They're gonna name him like Tyson Hooker or fucking
or something with Taz. Something with Taz related to Taz.
I can't even imagine. But he's definitely not gonna be Hook.
And I don't know. I just have a feeling And I think he's the only one. But so I'm not saying everyone's jumping or people.
Yeah.
I just think he's gonna explore his options. And I
mean, he's pretty much stated that he's gonna not re-sign immediately. He's gonna see what offers are out there, yada yada yada. So
like I'm
I
also
can see it.
I think Ricky Starks is gonna stay with AEW. As much as everyone thinks he's jumping ship, I think he stays.
Yeah, I think he's leaving, bro.
So you think he's leaving?
I think Ricky's gonna go. I think Ricky's gonna go, and I think he's gonna be a pretty big star in WWE just because the way he carries himself, the way he talks. I think he's gonna be big over there. And I think Hook, like, I don't think Hook's gonna go, man.
No?
I don't think Hook is leaving.
So we've got opposite opinions on these two.
Oh yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, you never know. And again, anyone can go wherever they want. I don't give a shit because I watch everything anyway. So to me, it doesn't matter who goes where. Right, I'm gonna see you regardless. So it's fine. But I don't think Hook's gonna go. I think Hook is gonna stay with AEW at least for now. And Tony should really try to make sure that happens because that's a young dude. You know, you seem to understand that he needs to be on TV every week, so you're throwing him out there. So you should probably, try to start building this guy up, man, because he's got a great look, he's got a great move set. The crowd loves him. I don't like the stupid fucking bat signal shit that they do. Yeah, that shit's stupid. But besides that, man, I like the guy. So
no, but overall, I thought Dynasty was a great show. I very much enjoyed
fantastic.
It. Very
very happy for Swerve, and just those 3 matches I just wanted to touch on just because it's already been a while, but not to take anything away from the main event.
No.
The tag team ladder match was fucking awesome. Jack Perry, obviously, that whole thing was great. The Willow and Julia Hart match, I think it ended a little quick because I think Julia might have a little injury, so I think that's why they did that the way they did it. But man, I really enjoyed the card, even the opening match with Okada and Pac. That match was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So, again, fire pay-per-views, bro. That's I never regret spending money on those. So,
no.
Yeah, man.
One thing I wanted to give some love to switch sides to the other place. We have to give some love to the new WWE tag titles. Those belts are nice.
I really like the SmackDown ones much better
than the Raw ones. Yeah, compared to Raw, yeah.
Yeah. I saw somebody the other day did a Photoshop where they added right in the middle of the SmackDown belts, there's like a circle, and they added like a light blue, like a blue and white around the circle part, and they highlighted the other. I guess there's like a like wings or something in the middle plate. They did it like SmackDown blue, and it looks so good, bro. It looks so good. I was like, oh my God, I wish WWE would see this and like make that little change. But I'm not going to hate because those belts to me look fantastic. They look like old school tag team wrestling belts. That's what I like. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see a gimmick on the belt. I want to see a belt and look at it and go, damn, like that's the championship, bro. Like that shit looks hard.
No more.
Because the Raw belts are like, they
just look
like,
off.
Yeah, there's something about that. The logo and I'm not against the logo itself being there. Maybe if it was all gold, it would look better. Or if maybe it was just like, I don't know.
I don't like that it's a circle, like a legit circle.
Yeah, like I don't know. Maybe if they took the circle out and just did the W in there and made it gold with like diamonds or something, it would look better. But it just that black and the circle with the black and white throws me off. Like it just looks weird. Like, I don't know. It doesn't look bad, but it definitely looks better than what we had.
Oh, God, the pennies.
Yeah, no, dude, those belts were terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know why those belts lasted for so long, bro. Those belts were atrocious. So bad.
Yeah.
Even worse than the remember the bronze ones?
Yeah, the black with the bronze.
Yeah, those were horrific. But then they went and made them red and blue, and it was even worse.
Yeah.
So I don't want to skip over. I know last Monday night. What the fuck happened last Monday night that I wanted to talk about that I can't remember now? That's how long ago it was.
Becky won the title.
Oh, they brought the titles out. Becky won the. Oh yeah, Becky won the title. Rhea apparently did get injured by Liv Morgan backstage, not kayfabe, real shit. That really made me sad. We love Rhea Ripley on this show, and I think there's no mistaking that. And I was very happy to see her retain her belt at WrestleMania. So for her to get a freak injury like that and have to drop the belt really sucks. WWE seems to have the injury bug right now. Cody took a bump on Friday, and some people are unsure if he's hurt or not for real. The only thing that he said was he liked a tweet about somebody asking him about his shoulder, but that's all the news we have about it. So I don't know if we're gonna get an update. But either Cody is the greatest seller of all time, or he really hurt his fucking shoulder, because it looked bad. Like his reaction was really bad when he hit his shoulder. So hopefully he's okay. But the injury bug seems to be going around. Punk is hurt. Rhea's hurt now. Dominic's out for like 9 months. It's going around, dude. And hopefully it stops, because that shit is kind of contagious. But yeah, Becky Lynch is the new champion on the show, which I get. She's probably the biggest name there right now that you got. Apparently she was going to take time off, and Rhea got hurt, and they called her back in to come back, and hey, we're going to put the belt on you. We need you, blah, 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 blah. So she volunteered to come back. So sucks for Rhea, man, but she'll be back.
Yeah, because here's my take on it. I'm cool with her winning it, because Liv winning would have been too obvious, I feel. But then, like, if you weren't going to do it, I'd rather have, like, randomly, like, Chelsea Green won, or someone like that, like, just a random.
Yeah. But you know what would have been dope? Like, here's where, like, sometimes I get an idea in my head, and I'm like, why doesn't somebody else think of this? Like, why doesn't somebody there think about this and then do it? Like, why couldn't they have an angle where Liv Morgan basically infiltrated the Judgment Day? Like, I was thinking about it, and I was like, can you imagine, like, if they had a backstage thing with, like, the Judgment Day talking or whatever, and then Dominic's acting, like, a little different. You know, he's acting, like, a little more, like, he wants to split from Judgment Day, and he's being a little more, like, well, they kind of were doing that with the Legado Fantasma thing, but
yeah.
Can you imagine if there was, like, let's say they were doing something backstage, and they had, a little mini argument, and Dominic storms off, and you just see somebody's hand, like a girl's hand, come out to Dominic's ear and just start, like, whispering shit to him. And then you see that as Liv Morgan. So she's kind of, like, getting in his ear, kind of like the same way Rhea did it. And they could have kind of, like, did something with that. And let's have Liv now infiltrate, put the title on her. Now she's in the Judgment Day with the title. That way, when Rhea comes back, she can be a fucking face. And they can do that whole thing.
Do you think they maybe didn't go that route because of Dominic being hurt?
Probably Dominic got hurt, yeah. I mean,
because I think now Priest is going to break away and be a face.
Yeah, it seems like that's what they're kind of doing. And that's kind of sucks, too, because it kind of makes Damian Priest look like he kind of turned his back on his boys. Now, now you win the championship, and now all of a sudden we're not good enough for you type shit. Like, that's how it comes off to me. I don't think they should have gone that route, but, I mean, we'll see how it goes.
I wonder because I don't know if you saw Finn re-signed. He put out the tweet.
Yeah.
Which was hysterical, by the way. That was a hysterical tweet. So I think we're going to get a Priest-Balor rivalry in here somewhere. Because I still think, and now you saw Drew McIntyre resign yesterday. The Rock was the one who announced it. That was pretty fucking cool, actually, with the sword. So it seems like it's 100% written. Drew's winning that title in Scotland.
Hell yeah.
So maybe they keep Drew kind of as a heel, because obviously he is. Maybe like Balor screws Priest over, and that's how Drew wins in a way. So if Drew wins, gets the hometown pop, he'd get that regardless, but he's still kind of like a heel because he capitalized.
Right.
So that's what I think. That's what I think. That's what I think they're gonna do. And then one other thing I had for you before I forget it. So what do you think of old Tama so far in WWE with Solo?
I think it's cool. I think it's cool the way they portrayed him. They got him, they made him look like a killer. When he debuted, obviously, it wasn't like a gigantic pop for this guy. So they have to tell the story where he's, how important this guy is. and he's definitely serious because he came out there and he, boy, oh boy, Kevin Owens was bleeding all over the place, and you know that they're not they don't do a lot of blood angles on WWE anymore. So when you see it, it's like, oh shit. And bro, that Kevin Owens was bleeding every fucking where.
Yeah,
like I was very surprised. Very surprised they did that. But that just makes Tama look like more of a badass. And supposedly they have Talanoa coming in too, but they're not rushing to bring him out. But they have signed him already. So Tamaloa, right? The other half of the tag team that he was in.
Him, Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he'll be coming in too.
Apparently, Jacob might debut as soon as like next week.
Nice.
People think he might interfere in that tag match they're having at Backlash.
Yeah. But
I
yeah,
don't know. Low key, I'm not minding Solo as this tribal chief thing. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, he like, I like Solo, man. I like Solo, but he's definitely no Roman Reigns.
Oh God, no.
He's definitely not a Roman Reigns. He doesn't have the gravitas. He doesn't have he's more like a bully. Like he's forcing the issue of like, I'm in charge. Because Paul Heyman is like obviously definitely afraid of Solo.
Yeah.
But also at the beginning, he was deathly afraid of Roman, but you felt the fear coming from Paul with Roman Reigns a little more. Because it was very subtle how Roman Reigns would just kind of look. Because Roman Reigns wasn't like, yo, I'll kick you. Like he wasn't like all in Paulie's face. Everything he did was very subtle and like kind of scary. So, Paul will play off of that. Solo is just kind of like being super intimidating, like get in your face, like threatening type manner. So he's doing good with it, man. I'll tell you. He's definitely versatile. I will say that. I'll give Solo some props.
Crazy work. Again, they're already doing We Want Roman chants. I think when Roman comes back.
Bro, after 1 week, they were doing it. Like now it's crazy how like when he comes back, he's going to get the biggest fucking pop of all time. Like his pop's going to be tremendous.
Right, monster baby face. You got to assume when he comes back.
Especially if like they do something where like Solo and Tama are like beating up Paul Heyman in the ring or some shit. Like if they're trying to beat up Paul Heyman and they're stomping him out or something, or they're about to give him a concerto or some crazy shit, and Roman comes on and saves Paul Heyman. Oh my God.
Well, the thing that pissed me off, and now we're speaking of the draft. The draft, there was no big moves. No big moves. The Kiana James got called up, and I think Nia going to SmackDown was really.
This was the stupidest, most nothing draft ever.
Yeah, it's Nia went to SmackDown, but everyone's like, well, Braun Breaker went to Raw. Dude, he had one match on SmackDown. You can't count him as like a SmackDown guy.
Bro, before I put the graphics up, like here's a couple of issues I have with this. So you mean to tell me that Braun Breaker just did that whole thing where both GMs were trying to court him, they were offering him contracts, there was this whole big thing, and Adam Pearce was like, oh, we're gonna bring him here, and then he's fucking signed with SmackDown, and they did this whole thing where like he signed with me, yay, he signed the contract, and then 2 months later he gets drafted to Raw. What the fuck is the point of the whole contract that he signed and all that shit to get drafted to Raw 2 months later?
Yeah,
really?
Because where I'm going at with this, I really thought the whole point of this draft was to get the bloodline on Raw.
Yeah, right?
Because I thought they were going to go on Raw because I was thinking when The Rock and Roman fight next year, that was going to be on Raw because of Netflix. 100% because they can probably be a little more PG-13 and all the other shit. Obviously, what better way to promote your new show on Netflix than The Rock and Roman? Cody's now on SmackDown being the champ. And then
and SmackDown's going to USA, right?
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Yeah.
So they're leaving Fox anyway. So it's not like I was gonna say maybe that was Fox like flexing their muscle, like, yo, we want to keep Bloodline on our but they're leaving anyway. And so why would they care?
And then Jey Uso stays on Raw, and then Solo and Tama got drafted to SmackDown because Jimmy Uso's hurt. Speaking of being hurt, he's hurt, but he'll come back into SmackDown. But so I don't know, unless they're gonna do this whole thing on SmackDown without Jey. But I just don't see WWE building Rock and Roman next year on USA over Netflix. Like, I just don't see that being a thing.
Yeah.
Roman, and then especially when I saw Roman took himself out of the draft, I was like, oh,
Right.
okay, perfect. Like, yo, they're going to Raw. And then, so apparently tomorrow's going to be more NXT call-ups and a real shake-up, but you did, like, no bullshit. This was probably the one episode of, not one, the least important episode of SmackDown this year. You could not have watched this Friday and missed nothing.
Yeah, and like literally, again, 23 minutes of wrestling on a 2-hour wrestling program is a little unacceptable, dude. But again, this was round 1. So SmackDown got their first pick. They picked Bianca Belair.
Which
Raw's
is
first
awesome.
pick
Which is cool.
Okay, let's just go through this first. Their first pick was Bianca Belair. Raw's first pick was Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso. The SmackDown second pick was Carmelo Hayes. And then Raw's second pick is Seth Rollins. Now, okay, so I don't really have a problem with any of these. Like, these are good picks. Carmelo Hayes is obviously the future. You know, he's going to do big things. He's going to be a gigantic star. Jey Uso super over on Raw. He's selling a lot of merch. He's becoming a big star. So I get that. Bianca, that just shows you the faith that they have in that woman. That woman is always ready. She never gets hurt. She's always ready for whatever thing they put her in, and she delivers in her matches. So congrats to her being the number 1 draft pick. That's another thing that she could put on her little, I'm the number 1 draft pick
It's
in
same
WWE. So
same with Jey Uso. I was the first draft pick to Raw. Like, that's dope.
So, like, that shit's cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have a problem with round 1. When round 1 popped up, I was like, okay. I was a little surprised that they took Bianca first instead of some of the other stars. But, like, you go to round 2, Randy Orton goes to SmackDown. Well, he stays on SmackDown. Braun Breaker moves to Raw. Nia Jax, I believe she was on Raw.
Yeah,
so now he's moving to SmackDown. And then Liv is staying on Raw. So here's my thing. We're going to start here. Randy Orton, I get. Randy Orton is probably one of the biggest stars in the business. Braun Breaker, again, another up-and-comer who's going to be main eventing WrestleManias in a few years. Nia Jax going to SmackDown. Liv Morgan going to Raw. And again, I'm not trying to sound like a hater. I got nothing against the women. I love women's wrestling. But AJ Styles, LA Knight, anybody from the bloodline, Rey Mysterio, all the guys in the Judgment Day. I mean, you pick Nia Jax.
Well, were they eligible? Because remember, some are eligible for Friday and some are eligible for Monday.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. But
I see what you're saying.
AJ Styles is wrestling Cody Rhodes on your next pay-per-view for the fucking championship. And you don't draft AJ Styles in the first round or even the second round. You draft Nia Jax before you draft AJ Styles.
Yeah,
okay.
I see what
again, and I know we're arguing particulars with a draft that's gonna mean nothing in 3 weeks because everybody's gonna be going wherever the fuck they want anyway. So it doesn't matter. But it's like, I really like the way they like. Did you notice they even had the little ding 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 ding? Like they had their own little like sound effect before they did their picks. Like they actually like that shit was cool. Like I was like, okay, they had like a war room. They had people come out and make the announcements. Like it was cool. I like the presentation of it.
Yeah.
But dog, really? So in the third round, finally, LA Knight goes in the third round, stays on SmackDown. Ricochet stays on Raw. The Bloodline stay on SmackDown, and Sheamus stays on Raw. Literally no changes here. Everybody's just being put. Nothing changed here. So nothing to see here. I don't really see any fault with any of these. You know, I don't understand how. One thing I don't get is that, like, how does SmackDown just say we're taking the Bloodline and you're getting what, 2, 3, 4 people? Are you getting 4 people? Are you getting 5 people? Who knows? I don't know how many people they're getting, but they're getting the Bloodline. So
and then what was round 4?
not sure who they're getting there, but then you go to round 4 and you're drafting AJ Styles in the 4th round. Then Raw drafts the Alpha Academy, which going literally people who are beefing. They're not even going to be together anymore. And they get the whole Alpha Academy, which they were on Raw anyway. SmackDown gets Andrade, which is pretty cool. And Kiana James gets drafted from NXT, which I think is pretty awesome. And she's going to Raw. So, those were the first 4 rounds that they did on SmackDown. Obviously, tomorrow night they're going to continue. And
they go 6 rounds tomorrow.
Nick with the breaking news that they're going to have big surprises tomorrow. So we'll see. I got a question though.
Yeah, I got.
Where the fuck is Odyssey Jones? Do you remember Odyssey Jones?
Yeah, he got called up to Raw last year, and did you see the photo? He's eligible to be drafted again. Yeah,
where is this man?
I'm gonna say this nicely. I hope he's healthy and everything's good with him personally, all that, right? Because we don't know. But if he's literally just chilling, I want to give him a round of applause because my man's just getting a bag.
He just collected a year's paycheck for nothing. And not even appearing in catering, bro. Even when they go backstage and they show a bunch of people in catering, you don't even see him there. So it's like, did they forget that he's on the roster? Did he forget that he works there? Like, I don't understand. I don't know what's going on.
It's weird because I never want someone to lose their job. Like, never. That's why I said I hope everything's good and healthy, but like, not to be an ass, but how did he survive all these rounds of cuts? But like Jinder Mahal just got cut.
Right. Yeah.
It's got to be a pay thing. Obviously, Jinder's probably making a lot more than Odyssey Jones. But anyway, so my question for you, do you remember for like 2 years, remember after WrestleMania for like 2 weeks, they did what was called the Superstar Shakeup?
Yeah.
Do you prefer that over a draft?
Yeah. I don't see what's the purpose of having both. I mean, I don't know if they're going to do another superstar. They're going to do a superstar.
No, I don't think so. The draft took the place of the Superstar Shakeup.
Yeah.
So would you rather have a whole draft like this? Or would you rather have just like, we only really intend on moving 6-7 people. We'll just have them do that.
They should just do like, you know what they should do? They should get rid of the draft. Get rid of this fucking why do I keep saying Superstar Shakeup? Get rid of the Superstar Shakeup. What they should do is just institute like, okay, from April 15th to June 15th is trade deadline, where we have a trade deadline for Raw and SmackDown and fucking, shows NXT and SmackDown and Raw. They can all trade within each other and make trades and make deals. And you have a month to get that shit done, or however long they want to do it. I don't think they want that shit to last a month. It'll probably be like 2 weeks, but it's like, here, the trade deadline's here. You never know what's going to happen. Contracts are up and blah, blah, blah. And they just swap people. They go, we're trading Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio for fucking, whoever. And just, that's how you swap people. Because that, to me, would make more sense. Instead of like...
Yeah. You know what I wish they did with the draft? I wish they did it like a draft. Like, don't do it during a show. Like, you have this Peacock deal. Do it on Peacock.
Bro, can you imagine paying a ticket for SmackDown and you went to that show last night and you had to sit there for an hour and 40 minutes of bullshit?
Well, the thing is, too, remember before they would draft people and then they would come out at least?
Yeah.
Like, these people aren't even coming out. So I wish there was...
You got Cody come out at the beginning with AJ. Cody and AJ came out. They did their angle, but they didn't fight. It was like a very respectful, whatever angle. That was over. You had a great match to end the show. And then you had it was almost like a speed match. The Rey Mysterio and bro, they were rushing to get so much shit in that match. It was ridiculous. It's obvious that they told them before they went out there, like, yo, you got to cut like 5 minutes off your match. So they just went ham. But can you imagine? You pay all that money to go to that damn show and it's literally a nothing show. I would have been pissed.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know what to say about it. It's just annoying. switching up from the draft, unless you had something else about that.
Nah.
Did you see? I know I told you in the pre-show, but did you read the whole quote on Kenny Omega with Roman?
No, so I didn't.
So I'm gonna read it, and then just let me know your initial thoughts right after. So AEW's Kenny Omega doesn't accept any Roman Reigns slander. This came from Kenny himself on Twitch. I'm not gonna accept any Roman Reigns slander in this chat. I really think he's incredible. I don't think he's boring. I actually would say I'm pretty jealous because Roman Reigns is presented the exact same way I would love to be presented. He's presented as the man who's the champion at big matches at the pay-per-views where you're either really cheering for him or cheering for someone else. That's professional wrestling. He's getting to do what I did in New Japan, so I can't be a hater on that. I'm a fan.
How do you not like Kenny Omega? It's a great guy. Seems like just a tremendous dude. And everything he said is facts. Like, everything he said is facts, bro. You can't deny, like, everything, all the treatment that Roman Reigns gets. These people, all these other wrestlers can say whatever they want. They can say, you know, he's not this, he doesn't do that, he doesn't defend his titles as much as this other person. But they would all love to be in that spot and be treated that way and be presented that way, where you're just a dominant champion over the course of multiple years. They would all love that. We'd love that. We'd love that in any aspect of business. You'd love for your job to treat you that way. I'd love for my job to treat me that way. So the fact that he's willing to go out there and be like, no, we're not going to trash him here. We're not. You know what I like about these AEW guys with their like Twitch streams and all that shit? Like, especially Adam Cole. Like, Adam Cole talks zero wrestling on his Twitch streams. When people try to bring up wrestling, he's like, nah, guys, we don't really do that here. We talk about games here. And they just talk about games, which, you know, to me, that's not that interesting. I don't really watch those, but I think that's cool that they like separate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the wrestlers, as we always say, the wrestlers don't give a fuck about this tribalistic shit. It's the fans that do. Like, I bet you fans got into arguments over that quote. Oh,
big time. Of course they did. Everybody, they were probably all like, oh, see, Kenny Omega wants to go to WWE. He's going to go to WWE. It's like, you guys really, it's just so sad arguing, bro. You know what's funny? So when Tony Khan took that, okay, first of all, let's talk about the whole Tony Khan. Let's just do it now.
Yeah, I wanted to talk.
We're heading that way.
The Dynamite piece.
Yeah, we're heading this way. So Tony Khan.
Look at his dad, such a G.
Yo, his dad, the way his dad. Okay, so look, obviously for anyone who didn't watch it, who didn't see Dynamite, they did an angle last week where the Elite attacked Tony Khan. They gave him a Meltzer driver, which is an assisted tombstone pile driver, if you didn't know what that was. And he took well, first of all, he got punched in the stomach with a microphone by Jack Perry, and then he sold that hilariously. And then, you know, they got in the ring, they hit him with the Meltzer driver. They ended the show with him being put in the neck brace and being helped out of the ring or whatever. This is what's funny to me. So it's like Tony Khan can never do anything right. Like, he just can't do anything right, according to these people. So I didn't see Dynamite like when it happened. I saw it the next day. So I didn't see or did I see it later that night? I think I might have saw it later that night. So I didn't see it live. I just saw a bunch of people. Some people were saying it was amazing. And then there was a bunch of other people saying, what the fuck was that selling? That was terrible. It was the worst selling I've ever seen. First of all, Tony Khan is not a wrestler. Tony Khan is not an actor. Tony Khan is a CEO of 2 major companies. Like, he's not a professional wrestler. You're expecting him to go out there and sell like fucking Shawn Michaels? Like, that's not going to happen. But, so I'm reading all this shit, and I'm like, yo, let me go find this and watch it. So then I watched it, and I'm like, what did you guys want him to do? Like, I don't understand what they're trying to shit on him about. He punched him in the stomach with the fucking mic. He went straight down. And I mean, Tony went straight down. Like, he felt like a sack of potatoes, bro. and he just fell to the ground, and he was holding his stomach, and he was writhing in pain. Like, what the fuck? What did you want him to do? You wanted him to take a flat back bump and bounce back up like The Rock when he took the stunner or some shit? Like, I don't understand.
I thought it
Then
was.
he gets up.
I thought it was.
He takes the Tombstone Meltzer driver, which the most protected. No one's ever been more protected in that move than Tony Khan was. They had him so high, his head was like all the way up here by freaking Nick Jackson's crotch. Like, there was no way he was getting hurt in that shit. Took that, laid there. They put the neck brace on him. He wasn't laughing. He wasn't covering his face, trying to he was actually selling like he was in pain. So I'm like, what do y'all want? Then immediately after that, all these people who hate AEW are like, oh, he better be wearing a fucking neck brace at the draft. He better be wearing a fucking neck brace at the draft. I was
one of them because I wanted that so bad, and I'm so happy he did it.
He does it, right? He's wearing the neck brace at the draft. Then, no. Is that good enough? No, of course not. Of course it's not good enough. Then they're saying, oh, look at him turning his head. He's not even fucking selling like he's wearing a neck brace. And I'm like, are you guys serious, bro? He's wearing the neck brace on national television at the draft. Is that not good enough for you?
Even Pat McAfee, who's employed, because I watched his draft thing, employed by WWE, was like, yo, that's fucking great. Tony Khan was wearing this thing.
Exactly.
And then
these people were just trying to shit on every aspect of what he did. Like, he was turning his head, and they were like, "Oh my god, he's not selling it. He's not." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Bro, I promise you, during the war room, as they call those, the draft rooms, whatever. I promise you, Tony worrying to make sure he's selling a neck injury isn't the top of his to-do list when he's preparing to help his dad and others draft an NFL team that they would ideally, like every other team, win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Exactly. I doubt he's like, oh shit, I moved my neck. Fuck, Twitter's gonna get me. I doubt that's what he's worried about.
Yeah.
He just says things that ruins it himself, but
it's just like, again, it's like some of these fans, like can you just enjoy wrestling for once in your life, dude? Yeah, I know. I get it.
I'm all in favor of, you got your own cup of tea, this, and that. But I truly believe there are people there who watch to find ways to critique. And that, to me, is so odd.
Yeah.
Well, the production could have been better, or, this, and it's like, man, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, for real. Like, come on, bro. You're telling me you didn't turn into the draft and see this guy wearing a neck brace and you don't crack a smile? Like, you don't think that's awesome?
Yeah, you saw me. I sent it toward our group chat. I was like, he did it.
Yeah. Like, that's hilarious, bro. Like, why would you, how can you hate that? Like, I don't get it. Now, of course, he got interviewed and he said something about WWE being the Harvey Weinstein of wrestling. Of course, that's an idiotic thing to say. Didn't need to be said. Like, if you want to be mad at shit like that, okay, that I can understand. If you're all gung-ho WWE and, you find that shit annoying that he's doing that, or you don't understand why he's doing that, I completely understand that. That's fine. But dude, everything that this guy does, he just can't do anything right in their eyes.
Yeah, it's dumb.
It's crazy, bro. By the way, guys, speaking of enjoying wrestling, you can see here that I am wearing one of our official Enjoy Wrestling shirts. We have about 12 different variations of this shirt in our shop.
Mine's in the mail as we speak.
Oh, yeah. They're ready to go. They're beautiful. They're crispy. They're comfortable. The burn is tremendous. We've got some happy campers out there who have already gotten theirs in the mail. So if you want to spread the internet positivity as we're trying to do, you can get yourself an Enjoy Wrestling shirt just like this with the WIT logo right there on the bottom. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I love it.
Yes. Thank you to everyone, all of our friends that have made purchases so far.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you all for making those purchases, man. We really love you guys. You're the bomb.
To be honest, Lou's the coordinator behind all this. He's the brains in the operation. I imagine that 10th of a penny we get off the shirt is amazing. You know what I mean? I don't know how Buddy works with all this shit, but whatever. Yeah, great deal. And I know, and I'm not saying this biasly, I bought a shirt before for Lou's show, and the quality was perfect. I know these are going to be So yes.
Yeah, guys, you definitely satisfaction guaranteed, and we get them from TeePublic. So if there's any issues with your shirt, if you don't like the shirt, they literally will send you another replacement, or they will just refund you, no problem. So there's no worries about that. But didn't mean to get all merchandisey on you guys. Again, the whole Tony Khan thing is just hilarious to me.
And I'm going to try to segue something here. If you can get a
Okay.
certain video ready. And if you think you can do better, well, we got something for you.
That's cap. Totally cap. That means lie.
That means lie.
That means lie.
Yeah,
Do
man.
you still have the video of Tony with the door?
Oh, absolutely. That stays here. All these
That's
videos are here. They're here to stay.
That's one of my favorite ones. When you did that the first time, and that caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting.
I just try to I don't want to spam them as we're talking. I try to
yeah.
I try to keep my ear open for something that fits. So
What did you just say?
could just throw that in there. But yeah, man, we got some.
Can I critique Tony on one thing, and it's not wrestling? I
course.
want him to get a fucking haircut.
Yeah, bro.
What did you just say?
Yeah, that little muff. He could do it a nice Caesar, bro, like a nice 2-1 fade, or even like a 0.
I don't know. I'm not. Hey, you're a grown ass man, dude. You do whatever hairstyle you want. I feel like I sound childish even saying it, but I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't like the whole mop in his face.
Yeah, he's got like a little kid haircut, which you could definitely go with like a Caesar or something like that, or maybe like a buzz cut. But
because it's weird when you see like photos from when AEW first started. Like I remember that I saw the photo. It randomly resurfaced on Twitter like 2 weeks ago. I saw it. Nothing bad, but it was Tony holding the belt again when it was Jericho and Hangman for the first title match. I'm like, wow, Tony looks like a completely different person. Granted, that was 5 years ago. Age is the thing,
right?
But just mainly the hair. I'm like, oh my god, he looks so different.
Oh yeah.
And
so Nick,
what's up?
Speaking about the AEW belt, what do you think about your new AEW champion, Mr. Swerve Strickland?
You know me. I'm all about it. I've been a Swerve since when I first discovered him, which happened to be NXT. I keep it a buck. I've gone back and watched some of his old shit. But anyway, massive fan of him. So happy he won. And I think, like we were saying before, I definitely think we're going to get Swerve and Ospreay at All In, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's weird. So this past Wednesday, they had there was a lot of discourse online because people were kind of upset that Swerve didn't get like a celebration, or he didn't get a chance to come out,
like a random match,
do his like opening salvo speech, his presentation. I kind of agree with it, but at the same time, it's like, bro, he came out and he had a match. Like, again, usually in wrestling, somebody wins a title, then they come out and they get their glory, they get their pop, and then they talk about something, and then an angle pops off usually when that happens. So it was a little strange for me to see him just come out and have a straight match, but I enjoyed the match because Kyle Fletcher is really good. And then, last night he came out and he did his opening presentation, set up a match with Claudio, which that match was tremendous. I don't know if you got to watch Collision.
No, so so who does it seem like he might face? Granted, he literally just won the title. Who does it seem like he might face at Double or Nothing?
Right now they don't have a direction for him, and I'm actually kind of surprised. Like Samoa Joe hasn't come out and like done a sneak attack or something like that, or kind of attacked him from behind. Maybe he's taking time off or something. I don't know.
Do you think they might just go the easy route? And I don't want to say easy because that sounds bad, but Hangman?
I think Hangman is hurt, though.
Is he? I don't remember. I know last we saw him, I think, was the triple threat, right? With him, Joe, and Swerve.
Yeah. I can never tell, dude. Some of these guys, like, they leave, they come back.
I'm just trying to I get it. We've seen him and Hangman 1,000 times, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, though, if it's not him, who could it be?
Yeah, right now, I mean, there's plenty of people on the roster that they can line them up with. But
it's just Double or Nothing's kind of a bigger show for them, too. So it's kind of like, you don't want to just have not a random, but.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they went with a rematch with him and Joe for now.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that, too.
They should do a rematch and have him kind of, get another win or whatever, solidify it, just so that it's good for Joe too. Because it's just like I hate when like somebody loses and they just disappear. Like Joe is still the man. Like he can still come out and do his thing, but they're not lining anything up right now, like specifically. So
I'm assuming this week we'll see something.
Although when he did say on Saturday, he was like, when people call themselves the best in the world, they're not the best in the world unless they're holding this title. Now, obviously, Danielson fucks around with that best in the world thing as well as CM Punk, but he ain't gonna wrestle CM Punk, obviously.
See, but
so I don't know.
I'd be cool with it, but like, yo, Danielson just lost.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. And I don't know what his win-loss record is. I don't know what the rankings are. I don't know if the rankings even fucking matter anymore.
I don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, so I don't know what's up with that, but he did throw that out there. I don't know if that was for a particular reason, but they're not lining anything up for him right now, which is fine. I'm fine that they're not rushing anything because they got Ospreay going after the international title, which I think he's going to win off of Roddy. So he's going to be international champion, which was shocking to me.
Yeah.
I was a little taken aback by that. I was like, oh, shit, really? Like, when I saw him come out for the match, I was like, oh, wait a minute. So he's going to win this because he's not going to lose. You're not going to beat Ospreay right now. So I was like, holy shit. Because when Jay White was in it, I was like, oh, Jay White's probably going to win this and go after the international title. Perfect. Cool. I like it. And then Ospreay comes out. So I'm like, oh, shit. What's happening? So.
Yeah, because I can't see Ospreay not fighting for the world title at all.
You think they'll do like a title for title thing with the two champions? I don't know, man.
Well, I'm trying to think. That shows the end of August, and Double or Nothing's the end of May. So even if Ospreay wins, you could still get the title off of him.
Right.
I just don't know. I don't know how you get the title off of him that quick and have him build a match with Swerve, though.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the thing on my phone, but there's definitely I think it goes what? You have Double or Nothing, then Forbidden Door, and then All In, I believe. I don't think there's a show in July. So I don't know. I don't know what they do unless MJF comes back and he's the one that goes after Swerve.
Yeah, I'm not sure the direction right now, but that's okay because everything's new. Everything's, still going on. I was just like very surprised to see Ospreay's going after the international title. I think that's cool. One thing I'd like to see, though, is if Ospreay does win the title, I'd like to see him like when he comes out and does his thing with his belt, he comes out as the new champion or whatever. I wouldn't mind him like calling out Orange and them having another match because Orange is like the best champion, the best international champion, obviously. Yeah. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing Orange and Ospreay go at it again because those two work real well together.
Oh yeah. So I think that's gonna do it, right? Unless are we missing anything?
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered a lot here.
I know you're gonna take us home. I know you got something to say, so I'm gonna just plug first. So cool. You can follow me, Twitter, Instagram at my name. But anyway, most importantly, follow our show. We're glad to be back. We'll probably be back next week. Usually we drop on Tuesday, but unless something wild happens tomorrow in this draft, which I don't see happening, because to be real, I'm not watching. The Celtics are on. I'll be checking on it. Don't get me wrong. But so unless something wild happens in the wrestling world between Sunday night and Tuesday, you'll see us probably next week. But follow us on YouTube at Wrestling is Trash. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Wrestling Be Trash and on Instagram at Wrestling is Trash. We enjoy putting out content for you guys. We love the feedback. We love everything. So thank you guys as always. But Lou, do what you got to do and then take us home.
Yes, sir. So guys, you already know the deal. Wrestling is Trash Instagram. Click on there. Follow us on YouTube. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the views. Our little community took a very, very large hit this past week. One of the probably best Instagram pages, YouTube channels that are out there. And not only that, just like a tremendous person literally left us last week. I'm talking about Trey D from the We Love Wrestling show. Um, We Love Wrestling has been like one of those channels that just spreads so much love and positivity in the toxic social networks that we have out there. It was just always love for like independent wrestlers, and not only, the big shows, but like Mission Pro Texas and like XPWs and just all these tiny indie shows that are out there. Trey D would be like front row at all these shows, showing love to everybody, just showcasing talent, spreading awareness, inclusion for everybody. We're gonna miss that big booming voice. He had like Thanos's voice. Like his voice was tremendous. And we're gonna miss his love for wrestling, and we're gonna miss his big smile and his big laugh. I didn't know Trey D all that well. I got introduced to him from Top Rope Squishy, our trash girl, and I did a few shows with him on her channel, where we interacted like in the chat and stuff like that as I would pop up, and just being able to make him laugh a few times was like real cool. We were following each other, and he was just a tremendous dude. And it's really a terrible, terrible loss to the community. And I think it's only fair that we try to be as positive as possible when it comes to that. So we will continue to fight the never-ending battle of the toxicity, man, in his honor, and just try to be more positive and spread more love, and just try to be the best people we can be online, because we owe him that, and we owe this community just more love and positivity. So especially now that he's gone, because it's gonna be just it's terrible. It really is. He was really a tremendous dude. So I just thought it would be good to kind of throw that out there for everybody who's watching this. If you guys have a chance, check out We Love Wrestling channels. They're on Instagram. It's We Love Wrestling LUV. Check them out on YouTube. This dude, like, he had so much love for the game. Like, he had like 200,000 YouTube followers, and he never even tried to monetize his channel or get any type of shit like that. He was just all about just getting people's names out there and showing love to people. So, RIP Trey D, we're gonna miss you, man. And I don't know, buy a shirt, buy a We Love Wrestling shirt. I bought mine. If you can't, just follow the channel, give them a like, just spread awareness, and just kind of show your love and respect, man. But with that, we're gonna end the show. So I am Lou from the BX. This man over here is Nick Anicelli. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy wrestling.